folks, welcome to Yogaphyziozone. I'm Sinead and this is number 7 in the Beat the Bug yoga series designed to help everybody get through the social isolation with this COVID-19 bug. So today I'm feeling a bit withered, so I thought, well, you know what, it's a good time to do a class for other people who might be feeling withered, and maybe together we can unwither ourselves. So so with when you are feeling a bit, it's probably because of worries about people you love or different things. So sometimes when all these things are going around your head, it's really good to get into your body and just concentrate on some of the feelings in your body instead. So let's just do that, about half an hour maybe. I'm going to be looking at my clock. And let's just see if we can kind of stretch ourselves out and do some breathing and all those kind of things. So I'm going to get you to come lie on your mat, and then just let yourself relax down onto the mat. I feel I need this today. Just breathing. And when things get on top of us, sometimes we start to breathe in our upper lungs. So just take a minute to see if you can breathe into the lower ribs, lower part of your lungs. They have the most blood vessels there for oxygen exchange, so it's a better way to breathe. So just taking a few deep breaths. Again, by deep I mean going down low into your lungs, not heaving your shoulders when you're breathing. So breathing into the lower ribs. And breathing out. Okay, so just getting your arms overhead and coming to lie on the ground. And let's just allow our body to stretch out in that position. So shimmy your shoulders away from your ears if you can. And just breathe in that position. Again, breathing into the lower ribs. Just letting the rib cage expand. The armpits expand maybe as well. If your chin is sticking up in the air, see if you can kind of pull it slightly down towards your chest, and that will actually give a nice little bit of a stretch to the muscles at the back of your head. Breathing in and out. Lovely. Okay, so then getting your hands to the back of your neck, or to just the back of your skull really, interlink them. Let your elbows drop out. Just breathe in this position. Again, shimmy your shoulders away from your ears. Breathing in this position. Breath into the lower lungs. Really concentrating on the breath. Okay, so bending up your knees, but feet are still on the mat. Get the two knees joining together. Lift your bum if you need to, just to kind of shimmy yourself into position. And on the next out breath, just stretch your knees over to the left hand side of your mat. See if you can actually lengthen the position between that right elbow and right hip, really stretching out the rib cage, and of course breathing into that lower rib cage. That feels really nice. And again. Bringing the knees back to the center and over to the other side. Trying to keep both elbows onto the ground. Lengthen your knees away from your elbow, this time on the left. Get the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe. And breathe. Knees back to the center, and then pulling both knees up to your chest, and just let your lower back soften onto the mat. And get your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe tucking the chin in so it's not sticking up in the air, which happens if you tight neck muscles. And just seeing if you can just breathe in that position. Just breathe. And me, I'm just going to give a little bit of pull to my knees to bring them further down towards my chest. And really nice stretch to the, for me anyway, to the back of my waist area. Lovely. And then let's just stretch one leg out and then the other. So you can either straighten your right leg out onto the ground, or you can keep it bent if that's easier. I'm going to keep mine straight out, and then with the left leg I'm just going to hold it at the back of the thigh and just stretch up, stretching into the hamstrings, and just see about straightening the leg if you can. Just easing out the tension at the back of the body. And again. Easing out the tension at the back of the body. Forgot to take my socks off. I'll take them off in a minute. Now get that leg down flat on the ground. Lift the other one. Hold that knee, the back of the knee with your hands, and then stretching out the right leg up towards the sky. Shoulders away from the ears. And if you get the shoulders away from the ears and you straighten out the elbows, you'll find that the force of your leg straightening will actually pull your shoulders a little bit out of their sockets, which is lovely, because it actually pulls kind of your shoulders away from your neck as well, because, you know, sometimes when we're feeling a bit stressy, the old shoulders can really get tight. So just pulling them away from the ears and back down. I'm going to take this opportunity to take my socks off. Pardon me, very rude in yoga circles. Okay, so going to come onto our stomach, and let's get the hands just below, actually the hands just kind of on the mat below the shoulders. Get your shoulders away from your ears, pull your tailbone down towards your heels, and then just lifting up. Now in this position, just concentrating getting your shoulders away from your ears, okay? So not hunched up, but try and get them down. So it doesn't matter if you can get back really far and pushing your back into a really strong back bend. Just see if you can get your shoulders away from your ears. And then see if you can breathe in that position. And for me, that gives a really nice stretch kind of in my lower tummy area. Compressing my lower back a little bit, but also just feel that I'm kind of stretching out that lower belly area. And that's really nice. I'll come back down. Okay, let's do a half bow. So bending up the right leg, and see if you can actually get your hand back to your foot on that right hand side. You can rest your head down, and then you can work this two ways. Either pull, let's do it this way first of all. Pull your heel towards your bum and breathe into that position. Just breathing and breathing. And then seeing if you can kick the leg away from you. So this movement here, that's the movement, but your hand is holding on to your foot, and you're going to kick the leg away, which lifts up your shoulders. And if you can lift up. It's okay if you can't. But that gives a really good stretch. Now, the motion here shouldn't really be that you're kind of pulling with your arm, but that you're actually letting your elbow go straight, letting your shoulder be pulled out of its socket. Not literally, but you know what I mean. But you're actually pushing with your foot, so you're actually, the action of the foot is actually lifting you up. That gives a really nice stretch to the front of the body, front of the thigh. It's kind of the opposite of what we do when we're stressed. Okay, So getting the right leg down, and then turn over, rest your head on the ground. Reaching back with your left hand to your left foot. And then first of all, just stretch, using the bend in your elbow there to just pull the heel back towards the bum. And you can hold in that position and breathing a little bit in that position. You can rest your head down. Just breathing. And then, using that kicking action of your foot, see if you can kick the foot away, which will lift your shoulder off. Maybe even lift your head up. That feels really good to me. And back down. I am feeling better already. Okay, let's just do a Sphinx for a minute. So just come up so that you're kind of resting on your forearms with your elbows under your knees. Pull your tailbone down towards your heels. And imagine you're the Egyptian Sphinx. I can never say that. Egyptian Sphinx. And there you are in the desert. And try and get your shoulder blades down your back. And get your shoulders away from your ears. Don't worry too much about what's happening in the legs this time. Just try and breathe as you do that. That's a really nice pose. Breathing in and out. Good job. Okay, let's get up onto all fours. Okay, hands are under your shoulders, feet are under your hips. Just wiggle your hips from side to side. Poor old hips. They also get really tight sometimes, particularly if we do a lot of sitting. Okay, so let's do a couple of hip openers. So I'm going to get you to bring your right leg forward. So this time it's in between your two hands. And then shimmy your left leg backwards. And then just look upwards. And again, just try and get your shoulders away from your ears. So whatever about getting that back leg back as far as you can. Main thing is shoulders away from the ears. Look up. And breathe. Really concentrating on the breath. This is a breath class actually. Yes it is. Okay. Now I can really feel that in my front thigh. It's different for everybody. And then what we're going to do is with that front thigh, just bring that front knee back to your hands and then just twist the foot forwards so that you're actually going into a pigeon pose. So I now have my right knee at my right hand and I'm actually lunging back, but my left leg is straight behind me. So I'm going to wiggle in that position. Again, just opening out the hips in that position and breathing and just settling the shoulders away from the ears, seeing if you can soften a little bit into that front hip. Don't hurt your knees in this position, so whatever you have to do, if you have to shimmy over a little bit to one side or the other, that's fine, but don't feel any compression on your knees, okay? Okay, so that's our right leg. Let's do the same with the left. So go back to all fours, and then we're going to bring our left foot forwards, and it's going to come in between our two hands, and we're going to go into a lunge position. Okay. You can shimmy your back knee, your right knee back a little bit. And then just going to look forward. And the aim here is to get the shoulders away from the ears. Soften the hips towards the ground. And see if you can breathe. Yep, see if you can breathe. Okay. So that front leg, my left leg, I'm now going to get my knee. So my foot is beside my hand. I'm now going to get my knee beside my hand. Okay, and then I'm going to swing around my foot, and then I'm going to scoot back on that back leg. So I'm now in pigeon pose on the left hand side. I always find it harder on this side. There's always one side, and you can just roll left and right with your bum there so that you're kind of wiggling a little bit into that hip. Again, no knee pain allowed. No knee pain. Whatever you have to do to avoid it, if you have to move your leg down or up, if you have to move your hands back or forwards or wide or whatever you've got to do, that's fine. Do whatever is right for your body. Okay, there we go, pigeon pose on that side. Okay, so we're now going to go back into a child's pose. So you're back into all fours, and then you're just going to drop your bum back towards your heels. Some people need to widen their knees for this, some people don't. Whatever works for you, and then just shimmy your hands forwards a little bit and drop your shoulders to the mat. And breathe again into those lower ribs. Deep breaths in. Maybe after a couple of breaths, you can kind of get your hands a small bit more forwards, or your bum a little bit forward, more back. But all the time, really concentrate on getting that breath into the side ribs, the parts of your ribs that are under your armpits there, down the sides. Lovely. That's really good. And coming back up. Okay. And we're just going to do one downward dog just because. Maybe we'll do two. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we go. Okay. So, you're on all fours. Your hands are under your shoulders. You're going to walk your hands one hand's breadth forwards. Press into the bases of your fingers, particularly your index finger and your thumb. Roll your upper arms around. Straighten the elbows if you can. Creases of the elbows facing forwards. So are you, looking forwards. So you're engaging those shoulder blade muscles. Tuck the toes under. Then seeing if you can lift up, pushing into the mat. Lift your heels or your knees and your bum up. And then see if you can push your bum away from you. As far away from you as you can. Drop the heels. And look back between your ankles. Now really keep your elbows straight if you can. Engaging your shoulder muscles. Drop the heels maybe a little bit forward. Sometimes dropping the right leg, then the left leg. But trying to keep the arms strong. And keeping the bum as high as you can. And breathing. Ooh, I love that one. It's really good for stretching everything down. Kind of your back, the backs of your legs, excuse me, backs of your hips. And dropping down to the knees. Oh wow, I feel that stress just leaving me already. That is a great pose. We're going to do it once more. Now what I'd probably say to you is when you are pushing up like that, if you need to keep the knees bent, do. But get that feeling of pushing your bum away from your hands when you're doing it, okay? So that you're able to straighten your arms if you can. So if your knees need to be bent, that's fine. But get that feeling of stretching your bum away from your hands and then breathing. Okay, so let's do that again. Pressing into the bases of your fingers, rolling the upper arms around, seeing if you can keep the elbows straight, engaging those shoulder blade muscles. And the creases of the elbows are facing forwards. And then tucking the toes under, pushing into the hands and the feet and lifting up just however far you can go, okay? And then see if you can push the bum away from you. So if you need to keep the knees bent, that's fine. And only then, when you think you've gone as far as you can try and straighten them out. Trying to press the heels down towards the floor. But remember to breathe. Keep the arms strong. And breathing. That is just lovely. Okay. So we're going to do gate pose because I just love this pose because it is just so good as a stress reliever. Roll up your mat if you need to. I'm going to roll mine so I can just kind of pad my knees a little bit there. Okay, so I'm forward kneeling, keeping my hips forwards. Okay, so in this position, shoulders back, away from the ears, get your right leg out to the side, and then turn the toes facing upwards. Toes are facing upwards, you're still facing the side of the mat. Just breathe in that position, just breathing, lovely stretch to the adductors on the right. Breathing into the lower ribs. Then just drop your right hand down towards your thigh, maybe towards your shin if you can. With the left hand, turn the palm upwards and then just bring it overhead. As far as you can. While still keeping your hips forwards. That's the challenge. It's easier to get it higher if you kind of bend down like that. See if you can keep the hips forwards. It doesn't matter if the hand is out here, alright? Whatever it does for you. And just breathe and try and get the stretch also into that left rib cage. Relax the head. Breathe into those lower ribs. And coming back. Lovely. And then we're going to come back to the high kneeling position. Let's get our left knee out to the side. Turn the toes upwards. See if you can shimmy out a bit more. Your body is still facing the side of your mat. Facing me, moi. Okay. And then drop the left hand down towards your knee. Maybe towards your shin. Right hand, palm is facing upwards. So you're rotating that arm and then bringing that arm overhead. And seeing how low can you go. But actually the main thing here is to try and keep the hips forwards and to breathe into those lower ribs as you hold that position. That is just a fabulous pose. Gets everything, gets the hips, gets the breathing, gets under the armpit, front of the hips. Love that one. And back down. That's great. Okay, that's really cool. Okay, so just a couple more poses. I'm not going to do any standing poses today, even though they're great for getting energy up. I might just do some more twists because we're going nice on ourselves today because we're withered, right? Actually, I'm improving. I hope you are too. Okay, so sit on your sit bones. These bones under your bum, okay? Sitting on those sit bones. Legs wide out. If you find when you put the legs wide out that you're kind of, going back with your back like that, sit against something, okay? Sit against a wall to hold you upright. And then in that position, walk your hands down your legs as far as they'll go, and then keeping your collarbones splayed wide, bring your chest forwards and look kind of out in front of you and try and keep the legs that are on the ground, yeah, they are on the ground, aren't they? Just try and keep them in contact with the mat at the same time as bringing your chest forward, at the same time as breathing, at the same time as trying to keep your shoulders away from your ears. That's a great pose as well. It really kind of gets a bit of everything, gets a bit of your back, gets your inner thighs, really makes your breathing work. head should be relaxed in this position. And breathing. And breathing into the lower ribs and back out. Lovely. We're going to turn this into butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. Again, sitting on your sit bones. Sit against a wall if you find that you're rolling back often. So you're going to get your 2 feet together, facing each other and touching like buckets, okay? If they need to be out here to do that, that's fine. If you can bring them back towards your groin, that's great, whatever. And then just put your hands around your feet. And try and straighten your back. So in this position, don't roll back like that if you can. Keep your lower back kind of arched. And that's where the wall comes in, right? If you can't do it without a wall, do it against a wall, because you really find that your back will thank you for that. So you're going to try in that position, just trying to get the shoulders away from the ears. I'm going to turn to face you again. Shoulders away from the ears, and then just see how far you can bring the knees down towards the ground. And rather than pushing them with your hands, just actively try and see if they would push away from your head down towards the mat. And then just breathe. Shoulders away from the ears. Shoulders away from the ears. And again. Okay, so we're ready for a couple of reclined poses. I'm really good for keeping my time this time. And I thought we might do something kind of akin to a shoulder stand. So I'm just going to show you, like if you were to do a shoulder stand, people who can do shoulder stands, they kind of push up onto their shoulders like that. That's a lovely position. I'm not doing it perfectly, but it's kind of like that. But actually, if you've never done one, find a friendly wall, okay? So I'm going to show you, even though my heater is in the way, getting my bum in close to the wall, and then just putting my feet on the wall, and then hands by my side, and then I can just see about lifting my bum up a little bit, maybe even putting my hands to the back of my waist and just holding that position, okay? So I'm actually still being supported by the wall. Now, no neck pain is allowed in this position. That's a really nice one. Just for getting an inverted position. Now, if you start to feel that you're kind of like almost a suffocating feeling, or you feel that your face is kind of filling with too much blood, just come back down out of that, okay? Or ladies who are menstruating probably shouldn't do inversions during that time. But otherwise, you are free to try it. So try to relax your head, relax your neck. And even if you can just lie down and you just literally have your feet up on the wall, and even if you want to stay here for like, oh my God, 5-10 minutes, relax out, stretch out, do whatever you want with your hands. That's a really nice position when the going gets rough, okay? So let's just hold that. Feet on the wall. My feet would be in contact with the wall, except my heater is in the way. But you get the idea. Just those kind of inverted poses. Now that's a grand one for nearly everybody in any situation, because that doesn't put a lot of pressure on any of the blood vessels in your neck, or it doesn't stress your heart too much. So just lying with your legs up a wall, it's fine if you're menstruating. It's fairly nice one. So stretching out with the hands, maybe stretching out to the side, whatever feels good for you. Okay. So you can keep that up for another few minutes if you like, and put this on pause. And then when you're ready, come join me again, and we're just going to finish up. So this time lying on the ground, your knees are bent up, your feet are on the mat. And then again, your feet facing each other like bookends. And we're going to do a reclined butterfly. So you're going to be dropping both knees away from each other and out to the side. And just letting yourself relax. And again, if you can, put the hands overhead and just breathe in that position. Again, a great one for just stretching out the front of the body and just relaxing. So again, you can put me on pause right now and just stay in this position for another few minutes if you want. Another couple of breaths and you'll probably find that your knees will actually drop down more towards the ground, your bum will soften a bit, backs of your shoulders will soften a bit, maybe your back will kind of come even more in contact with the mat. This is one of those poses that if you spend a few minutes in it, you really notice things softening out. So, try putting the pause button on and just giving yourself a minute before you finish up with me. And then when you are done, maybe just taking a Shavasana for a couple of minutes, straightening out both legs, getting the hands by the sides, and then just taking a few minutes in the Shavasana position. Again, put me on pause, put on some nice music, and just enjoy the feeling of having de-stressed a little bit. So there you go, folks. That was my class for the withered folk of the world, and I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a bit better. So yeah, let's just keep the spirits up here. We'll get through this, and hope you enjoyed that, and join me again.